Morning, guys. One of the analogies that I love to use is the analogy of water when it comes to our thoughts, and the ocean being this never-ending abundance of water. If we can imagine that our thoughts are like water droplets, if we can work on every single day transforming those water droplets into positive thoughts, water droplets, and then adding them and continuing to build that up every single day, we can, in effect, make our minds like an ever flowing ocean of abundance, of positive thought energy. And if we continue to do that, we continue to work at it every day, it might seem like it's such a huge, impossible task. But little by little, if we make our minds like an overabundant flow of an ocean, we'll see the physical manifestations in our life. Have a great day, everyone. Morning.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
Good morning, Believe Nation. It's Evan. I am not a morning person, but here's what I know. When you start your day with a powerful routine that inspires you, it will change your life, like watching these videos. And in celebration of my recent one-on-one with Les Brown, get ready for a shot of espresso from our vaults with Les Brown.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Is there anything that you wish you didn't do?
Yes. I wish I had not waited 14 years. Somebody said if you want to lose something, lose money. You can get that back. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. Walt Disney filed bankruptcy 7 times and had 2 nervous breakdowns. But don't lose time. There were 14 years I sat on the sideline. 14 years I said, I don't have an investor in me like Tony Robbins. 14 years that said, I don't have an MBA or a PhD, and I can't compete with these guys. I have the complexion of rejection. 14 years I silenced myself. Wow. And so I regret that, because there are some people that maybe if they'd heard my voice, they would not have turned to drugs. If they'd heard my voice, their lives would have taken a different direction. And I can't get those 14 years back. That haunts me, and I think that drives me when I speak with such energy. I'm trying to make up for that time, but I can't.
Regret is the thing that I fear the most. The idea that I could have done more, that I could have been more, that I could have pushed harder, that I could have had a bigger impact is the thing that fuels me the most in my life, in my business, in both a business context from accomplishments I could have done or making better videos for you guys and reaching a wider audience, but also my personal life and being a better father and being a better husband and being a better son. It's constantly the drive that I don't want to be 95 years old looking back on my life and thinking, I could have done more, I could have been better. And this really started for me when I was in Paris, when I was 18-ish, and I was on a summer break there, and I had a map, and I was standing outside the Notre Dame Cathedral, and this girl comes up to me, and she wants to ask me for directions, and I'm thinking, does she really want to ask me for directions? And what I wanted to do was ask her out, and I'm wondering, why is she asking me directions in French? Like, her French is perfect, she should know where she's going, like something else is going on here. But I chickened out. I was too afraid. I didn't ask her out. I didn't ask her to, coffee or anything else. And I felt so bad about myself. She left, I took a picture of the area, and when I went home, I put it up on my wall. And it was a constant daily reminder for me. Whenever I woke up, I'd see that picture. Whenever I walked into the room, I would see that picture. The reminder for me was not to live with regret. Because what I did was I let that immediate fear of rejection, of failure, be stronger than me knowing if it was going to work out or not, than potentially having a great date. And I tried to then take that approach to everything that I did in my life. That if I thought I might regret doing this thing or not doing this thing, then I knew what I had to do. I had to take action. And it's feeling the fear because that immediate fear is real. That immediate fear to ask somebody out, to take that plunge, to take that phone call, to do that speech, to go talk to that customer. That immediate fear is real. What I do is I make the future pain so big, that fear of regret so big that it forces me to take action. So I put that picture on my wall as a daily reminder for myself that the next time something happens, the next time an opportunity comes in front of me that I might regret not doing, I have to go out. I have to take action. And that actually came for me the next year when I had an opportunity to join this biotech software startup company. I thought I was on the path to be a banker. I had potential great jobs lined up to make $80,000 to $100,000 starting salary when traveling around the world, or make $300 a month working at this startup company and owning a piece of the business. And I looked at that picture and it made me remember that I don't want to live with regret. That I can handle the business not working out, I can handle starting it and trying it and it failing, but what I couldn't handle is not knowing. Because I could always go back and get another job if I wanted to. I didn't want to be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later still thinking, what if I just tried that startup company? What if I just said yes? What if I just gave it a month or gave it 6 months just to see? And so the next time that you're feeling that you might live with regret, the next time you are afraid to do something but you know that you really should, I hope that you summon the courage to do it. Remember this video, remember my talk, remember Les's talk. Project forward. The rocking chair test. You're on your rocking chair at age 95, looking back on your life. Fast forward it now here to today. Will you regret for the rest of your life not taking action? And if the answer is yes, then you know what you have to do.
Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you just watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to take some action. But when you watch a video, you get motivated and you create a specific plan of action, that number jumps from 35% to 91% chance of you following through. And when you publicly commit to other people, like leaving a comment down in this video, your number jumps to 95% chance of you actually following through on the plan you set for yourself. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Leave it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
I was riding with a friend the other day, and I know this friend of mine who has been working on a job where she's been miserable for a long time. She was telling me about how she was miserable on the job and how she was so unhappy. So I said, if it's that stressful and if it's causing you that much pain, I say, why don't you just quit and do something else? And she said something that really put her in the chorus line with a lot of other people. She said, I would, but. And then I started thinking about that. I said, let me take a poll. So I started talking to other people and I would ask them what they were doing. And I said, but is that your passion? And they would say no. I said, then what's your real passion? And they would tell me what their real passion was. Then I said, well, then why aren't you doing what you really want to do? Oh, I can do it, but. And they would continue on. So this word, but just kept on coming up. And then it also has some friends like woulda and coulda and shoulda. And one day I'm gonna have my own business. Those people who talk about one day I'm gonna. Some of y'all know some of those one day I'm gonna people. Raise your hand. Some of you get up in the morning and look in the mirror at that person. I just tease, all right? So how is it that many times we block ourselves and we use these words almost like we're in a trance, like we're sleepwalking through life, that we find ways to cancel out our dreams? And I think that but is a dream killer, that a lot of things that we want to do, a lot of places we would like to go, a lot of things we would like to experience, and we just stop at but, and we build a case. In fact, I was reading something the other day that talked about but. It says, but is an argument for our limitations. And when we argue for our limitations, we get to keep them. See, but will cause you to procrastinate. But will cause you to hide out behind fear. But will cause you to come up with all type of excuses that you can validate your inaction and not acting on your dream. And right now, more than ever, people need to look for ways to live their dream. People need to look for ways to make it on their own. There is no such thing as job security. There's no such thing as a storm-proof or tragic-proof life. There are no guarantees today, ladies and gentlemen. The illusion is gone. There was a time when we graduated from high school, you were told, go to college and get out, and you go and work for a corporation for 30 or 40 years, they'll give you a gold watch, and you'll retire. Special announcement, that day is gone. That day is gone, never to return again. So instead of people living in fear, feeling stressed out, feeling powerless, feeling like victims, I think it should be a time that we need to begin to look at ways that we can become an active force in our own lives. Look at ways when we can decide to take charge of our own destiny. Look at ways when we can decide to design a life of substance and begin to truly live our dreams. And it's time for people to decide, I'm ready to get on with my life. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left. A guy named Bob May say this, don't let nobody turn you around. Do that right quick.
Hey Vaughn, the real estate market is changing, so it's more important than ever to be guided by a realtor who not only
Now, you know, a lot of people say, I'm going to live my life one day when things get right. When I get all my bills paid. When I get my feet on the ground. I say, what have you been walking on? See, there are no problem-free moments. A guy named Dimples had a record one time called, If It Ain't One Thing, It's Another. And I say, if it ain't one thing, it's 12 others. Always something there to build a case on why you can't move on, why you can't grow to the next level, why you can't begin to manifest your greatness, why you can't begin to live life on your terms. Always something there to block you, to keep you where you are, and keep you from beginning to develop your true greatness. Always some fear. How do we handle it? And I'm saying that if you've been hiding out behind but, if you've been using the fact that you don't have enough money or you don't have the education, take it head on. Go get the education. I was saying to a guy the other day who was saying, I said, how old are you? He says, 47 years old. I said, your sister tell me that you can't read. He said, that's right. I said, why? Well, you know, I didn't go to school. I said, excuse me, how old are you? I'm 47. 47? Yes. And you can't read or write? Yes. Have you ever heard of adult school, adult education? Have you decided that you should learn how to read to begin to expand your world? Why are you using that as a racket? Why don't you decide now that you're going to expand your world, that if other people can learn, you could learn too? Well, it's hard for me. Have you been and sit in a class yet? Have you signed up yet? No, I haven't. See, a lot of people say no, ladies and gentlemen, to things, and they don't even know what they're saying no to. They haven't even challenged themselves. He hasn't even gone to sit into a class and say, teach me how to read. Instead, it's been easier for him to go through life, he thinks, trying to play a whole con game, pretending he knows how to do something that he doesn't know how to do. And you know what? Most of us go through life like that. Most of us go through life pretending that we're satisfied where we are, pretending that everything is okay, pretending that we don't have any special goals or ambitions or desires, when really deep down inside we do really want more. But if you look at our behavior, if you judge based upon what we do, that really will tell you some true stories about people, because you have to judge a tree by the fruit it bears, not the fruit that it talks about. See, a lot of people pretend that they want more out of life, but all you have to do is watch their actions. That will tell you something. So I used to pretend that I wanted to lose weight, but how could you tell I was pretending? Watch me when I have a piece of sweet potato pie. Let me get within walking distance of some peanuts, some potato chips. See, I was pretending that I really wanted to lose weight. No, you just watch what I eat. I tell you what I'm seriously committed to. People who tell you, oh yeah, one day I want to have a restaurant. See, they're pretending they want to go into business for themselves. They're not serious. How can you tell, Les? Watch their actions. Watch what they're doing. The proof is in the pudding. So if you want to do something, if you thought about something you want to do, take it head on. Decide that you're going to start looking at it, start doing research on it, start tackling it, start becoming involved in whatever and wherever it might lead you to begin to explore the possibilities in that particular thing that you're seeking so that you can begin to learn all you can about it. Decide that you're going to face it, that whatever shortcomings you have, that you're going to strengthen yourself there. Whatever training that's required, that you're going to go get that training, that you're going to get started right now. George Washington Carver would say, do what you can, where you are with what you have, and never be satisfied. S.B. Fuller used to say, and you heard Joe Dudley talk about, always strive to be more than that which you are. Yeah, don't get satisfied with yourself. Always know that wherever you are, you can enjoy more, that you deserve more. But most people, you know what they do? Most people go through life quietly and safely, tiptoeing to an early grave. Find out what it is you want, and go after it as if your life depends on it. Why? Because it does. People that have found their passion, people that found the things that they love, people that have found the things that they can pour their lives into, those people live longer. I was in New York and I had to do a seminar at a special church, and a guy by the name of Reverend Johnny Youngblood. And I said, how is it that you were able to build this big housing facility and got all of the various community and religious groups together to have this dwelling for 2,000 residents that were once homeless? How were you able to take on this responsibility? Wasn't it overwhelming? He said, the kind of work I do, he said, it's in me. I've got to live what's in me. And I think that's everybody's desire in life. You got to live what's in you. Life is just too short and unpredictable. But what do we say? But there always be tomorrow. Oh no. There's no guarantees you're going to show up tomorrow. There are a lot of people who were here yesterday that they're not here today. There are a lot of opportunities that were around yesterday. They're not here today. Oh, you can wait, but you know what Abraham Lincoln said? Well, good things might come to those who wait, but only the things that have been left over by those who hustle.
Is strong enough to dance on the desert. The applehead becomes the giant of the dance floor. You can expect to move and dance to the rhythm. The king is back, causing all the fuss and stir. Is strong enough to dance on the desert. The applehead becomes the giant of the dance floor. You can expect to move and dance to the rhythm. The is back, causing all the fuss and stir. The king is back, his name is Nacho. Bounce, 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 and stomp the floor in his command. You will be trapped again and dance to the rhythm. The king is back, causing all the fuss and stir. Bounce, 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 the king is back, his name is Nacho. Bounce, 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 and stomp the floor in his command. You will be trapped again and dance to the rhythm. The king is back, causing all the fuss and stir.
Feel the power of you controlling your breathing. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You've got your legs crossed, your back straight, your eyes closed. You remember the truth. You know the truth. That you were born to win, to take control of your life the way you take control of your breathing. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. So let's do that right now. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can as we begin our day today in the best way possible. Winning the morning, winning our mind, and growing our minds and our bodies. And whatever we do. So right now, let's see ourselves doing the best walk we've ever done when that music shuts off. Right here, right where we are, right where we sit. because we know the truth. After all, we're made of truth. We're made of the same stuff the universe is made of. That's what makes you infinitely intelligent. See yourself right now doing the best walk you've ever done when that music shuts off. When that music goes off, you're going to win. You're going to make it real. You're going to make your dream, your vision real. Good morning, determination. So good to be here together again today. A new day, a new chance to be better than we were the last time. Here we go, everyone. When I say go, we're going to start jogging. So right now, as you're doing your best walk, whether it's side to side or whether you're simply walking on the spot, I want you to see yourself doing your best jog on the spot when I say go. I miss you so much, Beverly Glen. I miss you so much, determination. But we get to unite right now with this energy. We get to remember. We get to be our true great self. To grow our minds and to grow our bodies, wherever we are, whatever we're doing. And the way we do this is the way we'll do everything. So here we go. Okay, go. Always focus on your breathing. Keep going a little bit more. And stop. Okay, walking back to our best walk. Stay focused on your breathing. Remember, the way you catch your breathing, the way you control your breathing, is the same way you can control your thoughts and your feelings. Alright, let's start with some shoulder rolls forward. Let's do 10 forward. And backwards. Okay, let's do some arm circles forward. Feel the power of you controlling your mind and your body. Feel the joy of being able to move your body through space the best way you can. And backwards. Okay, hands on your hips, bend your knees, and side stretch. Okay, let's twist our bodies. Twist. Hands on the hips. All right, and let's do 5 push-ups, everyone. 5 push-ups. All right, let's do 5 sit-ups together. Here we go. best you can. Okay, and let's do 5 squats. Here we go. All right, and let's do lunges. 3 on each side, arms out. Alternating legs. All right, good. And let's do 10-second plank. Belly's knees off the ground. And stand up again, everyone. And let's reach for the ceiling on our toes. Hold it there for 10. Okay, and reach for your toes, straight knees. Remember to focus and control that breathing. Just reach. It's okay if you don't touch your toes. Reaching is what matters. All right, and stand up. And let's balance. Grab one leg and focus on planting that foot firmly into the ground. Bend the one knee if you have to. Find your balance point. And then pull that heel back towards your bottom. Excellent. All right, and switch. The other one. Find that balance and hold. All right, good. Okay, and now let's hug the one knee. Here we go. Bring that knee up. And again, find that balance. And hold it there. 10 seconds. All right, and switch. The other one. Slowly bring it up. All right, good job. Excellent. Okay, and let's sit down. And let's stretch out and reach for our toes. Straight knees. Here we go. Again, reaching is what matters. It's okay if you don't touch your toes. Just give your best. Feel the joy. Feel the process of you working to become better at every movement you make. Every stretch you do. Okay, here we go. Let's do V-shape now with the legs. So V-shape and reach for the floor as far away from your body as you can. And reach for one side. Hold it there. And switch the other side. Alright, let's bring our feet together now. And gently push your knees down with your elbows and hold it there for 10. Here we go. Again, feel that power of you in the now, in the moment. Winning. W-I-N, I've heard before, stands for what's important now. What's important now is doing our best in whatever we do. Okay, let's go one leg forward and one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground and go as far back as you can without hurting yourself. Keep that knee down though. Here we go. And switch, the other one now. Again, keep that knee down. Go as far back as you can. Okay, good. All right. And Let's roll onto our belly. And let's push the floor and look up at the ceiling. Cobra stretch. Here we go. Hold it for 10. All right, excellent. Okay, legs crossed again. Back straight. Eyes closed. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now I want you to see yourself right now. When that music goes on, I want you to see yourself doing the best you can on an exercise of your choice. For me today, I'm going to be working on challenging myself to do as many push-ups and air squats as I can. I'm going to see that in my mind right now. I'm going to try to be a little bit better than I was last time. What about you? Think about it. What is there that you want to get better at? What exercise do you want to do? Remember, it's got to be within the rules, safety rules, rules that are there for you to keep you safe. So this is the space we have right here. So what exercise will you do to the best of your ability when that music goes on? I want you to see that clearly in your mind right now. You might want to do jumping jacks. You might want to do burpees. You might want to simply dance, move your body to the music. If you want to play your own music, you can do that as well. I've got my music here. You feel free to enjoy that. But I want you to see yourself when that music goes on, doing the best you can, whatever exercise you choose. Because you know the truth. The way you do that is the same way you will improve and do better at anything. All right, determination, let's go. Let's feel that energy moving up. Here we go. Music always changes our energy state. Whatever you do, you gotta believe that you can do better. Here I go. As many push-ups as I can do. All right, we got 53 today. I gotta remember that for next time. What is it for you? What are you doing right now? Maybe you're doing some jumping jacks. Maybe you're dancing to the music. Whatever it is you're doing, do it to the best of your ability. You were born to be your best all the time. Remember your breathing. Always believe that you can be better than you were the last time. Even if you don't get exactly where you want to be, the process, the struggle, fighting to be better than you were last time, that's what's going to bring you your joy and your happiness. We have our determination. We get to work on that all the time. All right, air squats are next for me. What about you? air squats. Let's see how many I can do here before I get tired. Too tired to keep going, but there's always a little bit more. That's determination. All right, here we go. You can feel free to do the same thing, or again, do your own thing. You got your own dance, your music, whatever you want to do. Whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability. Here we go. All right, how's everybody feeling? We got the blood flowing. We've given our best at something. Feeling the power of us controlling our breathing again. There's no greater joy than that. For me, no greater joy than the awareness of our determination. So sometimes I try to do these exercises and I try to do as many reps as I can in a minute. That's one way to do it. You can change up your intensity, the amount of reps you do, the time you have, that's up to you. But whatever you choose, always try to get a little bit better than you were last time. And once again, legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed, focused on our breathing, back to our breathing. That powerful force, keeping us alive, keeping our energy flowing. And we don't really think about it. We never really attempt to control our breathing. Most of us, anyway. But we were born to do that too. To remember that in any moment, we can take charge of it, the way we take charge of our breathing. Same way we take charge of our mind, our thoughts. So reflect back on today. How did you do? Are you satisfied with your work ethic? Are you satisfied with your determination? Did you use it in its fullness, its beauty? Our determination is invisible. cannot put our finger on it. We cannot see it, but it is there. We have the power to determine what we will think and what we will do. Today, we've won the morning. We've won our minds, and therefore we can win our day and our life. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great life as always. I miss you. I love you guys so much. Keep going. Keep using your determination. Love you guys.
Welcome to Best Life 30, your 30-day journal of creating the best life possible for yourself. You can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the whole series for free and get the companion bonus worksheets, check the link in the description below. All right, today is day 1 of 30, and we're going to learn how to get inspired.
It's hard changing your life. It was hard when just over 3 years ago, in the Penobscot building in Detroit, Michigan, where I was operating my business, and I fell on some hard times, and I was sleeping in my office. It was hard coming into the lobby, and the security said, "Excuse me, Mr. Brown, can we see you for a moment?" And I said, "Yes," and I walked up to the counter, and he gave me an envelope. And he said, "Would you mind reading it here?" And I opened the envelope, and the envelope was from management that said, "This is an office tower. It's not a hotel. Please do not sleep in your office." And I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "I just work long hours in creating my business. I'm an entrepreneur. And right now things are bad for me, but they're not going to be this way always. And I just asked for the opportunity to continue to operate like I'm doing. I'm not trying to make this my home." And it was hard coming through the lobby. And sometimes they would laugh. There's a guy talking about becoming successful. And look at him. He's bathing in the bathroom upstairs on the 21st floor. He sleeps on the floor. Him and 2 other dreamers up there. Look at him. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen, coming to speak to people. And I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. I was behind on my bills and my dreams, and I'm saying to them, you can live your dream. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen. It was very difficult to pick myself up each day believing that I could do it. There were times that I doubted myself. I said, "God, why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my children and my mother. I'm not trying to steal or rob from anybody. Why did this have to happen to me?" It was very hard. And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on, by continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would have my own talk show. It's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, from Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor, never knowing my mother or father. It's a long shot. Being here with you today in this dome in Atlanta, it's a long shot. No college training, labeled educable, mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dream. Don't stop. Don't stop. Stop running toward your dream.
Second insight, if you want to be more inspired, nature. One of my favorite protocols is the daily nature walk. I love walking in the woods. I often listen to audiobooks in the woods. I call it reading while walking. Reading while walking. So I go to this place. It's sort of my creative forest. There's not a lot of people in there, and I walk for 1 hour. I breathe in the air. I look at the lush scenery. I listen to a different audiobook. It's almost like a walking meditation as well. Sometimes I don't listen to an audiobook and I just walk and I touch the earth. It's almost like I'm thanking the earth, connecting with the soil. Yes, I'm wearing shoes. I don't want to get too esoteric here, but there's a lot of really good research saying if you want to boost your immune system, you want to boost your happiness, you want to release serotonin and dopamine, you want to release the fear hormone called cortisol, walk in nature. And so when I walk, I connect with nature. And like I say, I know I'm not being very elegant in this mastery session. I'm just being real, but I listen to audiobooks, and then other times I do a walking meditation where I feel my feet on the soil. You know what I do other times? If there's something I'm confused about, I sort of just talk it out. It's like I'm talking out loud, trying to work it out. If I'm in pain, I get the negative energy out of my system by just releasing it, by talking about it. I also, and I know this sounds a little unorthodox, but I do like a walking blessing meditation. So while I'm walking, I sort of challenge myself to come up with 50 things I'm grateful for. And again, I verbalize those because it's only me and the squirrels in the it's only me and the squirrels in the woods. And so I say, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for work that feeds my soul. I'm grateful for the sunset I watched last night. I'm grateful for my team. I'm grateful for my business. I'm grateful for the travels that I get to take. I'm grateful for the people that I've served. And literally while I'm walking, I say out loud, I am grateful for. I hope it doesn't sound strange for you because it's an incredible protocol to install.
You're 47. What is the likelihood that you personally will go to Mars?
70%. We've recently made a number of breakthroughs that I'm just really fired up about.
And when does that happen? In our lifetimes?
Yeah. I'm talking about moving there. So it's like, if you get the price per ticket maybe around $200,000.
This could be an escape hatch for rich people.
No, your probability of dying on Mars is much higher than Earth. Really, the app of going to Mars would be like Shackleton's app of going to the Antarctic. It's going to be hard. There's a good chance of death. Going in a little can through deep space. You might land successfully. Once you land successfully, there will be you'll be working nonstop to build the base. So you're not much time for leisure. And once you get there, even after doing all this, it's a very harsh environment, so there's a good chance you die there. We think you can come back, but we're not sure. Now, does that sound like an escape hatch for rich people?
And yet you would unhesitatingly go.
You know, there's lots of people that climb mountains. You know why they climb mountains? Because people die on Mount Everest all the time. They like doing it for the challenge.
You will not quit in the universe. You will keep going in your business. You may lose, but you will not stop. You will not quit. You will keep going. I also told my wife, you will. This disease will not defeat us. This disease will not break us. It will make us better. And everybody that knows my family knows that we took a chronic illness and we took our family to a whole other level. We took a chronic illness and we took our marriage to another level. We took a chronic illness and we beat it. And we will continue to beat it until we destroy it, until we annihilate it, until she no longer has it. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You cannot stop. You cannot quit. I remember we came home from the hospital. The doctor gave her a long needle like that. I said, how long does she have to do it? She said she has to do it every day. I said, okay, every day for how long? She said, every day for the rest of her life. I said, I will not accept that. There are things in your life that you are accepting because somebody told you to accept it. I don't care if you're a doctor or not. I will not accept that. We will not shoot her with we will not give her a shot with that needle every single day for the rest of her life. 3 months later, I got a call that says that now it's a little shorter And you only have to do it 3 times a week as opposed to every day. Guess what I told him? I'm grateful, but I still won't accept that. You would think that because it's only 3, I would be excited. I will not accept it. Stop accepting everything. Stop letting people tell you what you can and cannot do. I will not accept it. I don't care if you're a doctor. I will not accept it. And we kept doing our homework and we found out about a pill that you can take. I was like, that's what we need. We need a pill. And I found out the pill shrinks the lesions on your brain. I went to the doctor. She said, I would have told you about it, but I don't think your insurance company is going to be willing to pay for it. It's $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year. Insurance company denied. My wife went back the second time they denied. I told my wife, stop begging. I'm 120. Do I give you $10,000 a month or do I give you $120,000 now to get it for the year? I will not let my wife, whatever it takes, I will not let her take I will give 120. I will speak more. I will get better. I will get degrees. I will get training. I'll do whatever it takes. I will put your health first, and you will not be defeated. You will not be destroyed. You will not use a cane. You will not be in a wheelchair. We will beat this. Some of you in this room, you are not able to activate your greatness because every time a trial or a tribulation comes, you fold. You give up. Every time somebody calls you and tells you you can't do it, you take it personal. Every time somebody tells you you don't have what it takes, you embrace it. And now you got to stand up to it. I never been one time with my wife. I never felt discouraged. I never felt that it wasn't possible. And my wife told me just a couple days ago. She says, today I feel like I felt before I got MS. She had a weekend where she felt great. And I told her, it's for a weekend today, but soon it will be for the rest of your life. We will not break. We will not retreat. We will not give up. We will activate our greatness. And we will know what it's like to live the 120. Say, I will live the 120. Come on. I will live the 120. Come on. I will live the 120. Come on. I will live the 120. And if you make up in your mind you're going to live the 120. I went from being homeless, eating out of trash cans, traveling first class. $100,000 in engagement. Back at home, every star, NBA, NFL, whatever, I consult them. I went from being a high school dropout. Why? Because I said I'm gonna get 120. I need you guys to get 124.
When I got to Dallas, I was a bartender at night, and I moved in. One of my buddies from Indiana said, you got to come to Dallas. And I'm like, I'm there. You know, my car would only get so far. It had a Fiat X19 with a hole in the floorboard that guzzled oil every 60 miles. And I went down there, and there's a place called The Village. It's was the world's largest apartment complex. We had 6 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment. I didn't have my own room. I didn't have my own drawer. I didn't have my closet. I had a pile, and I had one ratty towel that I stole from Motel 6. And that was it. And so I was looking for my career, got a job at a software store. And I was, you know, didn't have a tech background, so I was teaching myself all this. Because the way I look at tech is somebody invents it, and everybody else is tied for second place in the ability to learn it. And if I work harder and faster to really dive in, even if it means reading the manual, you know, just diving in, then I can get a head start.
How old were you during
I was 24. And so sleeping on the floor, working in a software company, you know, learning, getting better at what I was doing. And then one day, because I was dying to get out of that rat hole that I lived in, I had a chance to go out and close a sale that would have got me a $1,500 commission. And so I went to my boss, his name is Michael Humecki, and I said, boss, one of my responsibilities was to sweep the floor, wipe down the windows, and open the door to open the store. I got the sale. You got to let me close the sale. He goes, no. You got to be in here to open the store. And I'm like, Michael, no. So I made the executive decision to go out, pick up the check, thinking if I hand this guy a $15,000 check, of course he's going to change his mind. Fired me on the spot. And so here I was, living in a shithole, excuse my French, you know, just this ratty place with a Motel 6 towel, sorry, Motel 6. And really didn't know how I was going to get out, but I decided, okay, I'm a lousy employee. I went to one of the companies that I've been talking to, architectural lighting, and I said, look, I need $500 to be able to buy the software you want, and I promise you that even if it doesn't work, I will wash your car, I will walk your dog, I don't care what it is, I will do whatever it takes to make it up to you. And they gave me the $500, and that allowed me to create Micro Solutions. And 6 months later, I was out of the rat hole, and my company turned into a real company, and that's the one I sold for $6 million when I was 29, 30 years old.
I was at the gym yesterday, and a woman drove by me in a wheelchair at the gym. I was working out pretty hard, and she wheeled by me, heavy-set lady in a wheelchair. I'll be honest with you, I watched her wheel past me. She inspired me. Do you know what courage it takes to get in your wheelchair and decide, I'm gonna go to the gym, right? I'm gonna go to the gym. She's heavy-set, awkward. That inspired me far more than the jacked up dude doing 60-pound curls. I mean, that's inspiring, but you see that. A woman in a wheelchair at a gym with her 2-pound dumbbells because her legs don't work, but she went in there anyway. And you know how insecure she was about going in there. She's the only person in a wheelchair. She doesn't know what she's gonna see, how people are gonna react to her. She's not in shape. She doesn't have her full makeup on and her little, halter top like the other girls in there. And she's right in there. She was right in there working out right next to them, right? I couldn't take my eyes off her. And I ended up telling her that she was leaving. I left what I was doing. I walked over. I said, I just want you to know something. You're inspiring me. This is wonderful. Her face just lit up because you know how sad how insecure she was about being in there. Most inspiring person is the one overcoming the fear of doing something, not the person who's excellent at it.
When you're in the lab going and crafting the music, is this somebody that you think about from your past that you're like, you know what? For every time such and such gave me a wedgie, or for every time that girl like fronted on me, I do this for that. I do this for that.
Nah, it's more the influential people that I know. I don't really think about the people that did negative things to me. I think about the individuals like Wayne, like Ross, like Ye, like the guys that I know. If I take tonight off, I know that one of them is probably in the studio crafting something magical. So I should probably stay a little longer. I should probably not go to the club. I should just, work because I know that there's somebody else working if I decide to go play. You know what I'm saying? So I just use like individuals, and especially like probably one of the most influential people like in that regard, obviously is Wayne, but as well Jay is one of those guys too. That's one guy like you can guarantee if he's going in there and rapping, it's gonna be something great. So I just use people, I use positive inspiration as opposed to like like, oh man, that guy still owes me. Like, nah, I don't, it's all good, man. I'm in a great positive headspace right now. I don't want to give anybody no problems. I don't want no problems. I just want people to like appreciate this music.
And I know you've heard this, but my question is how much do you do it? And that is visualization. And we call it highly engaged visualization. Visualization where you're seeing yourself doing something and you're emotively there. You're literally closing your eyes and meditating on the experience. You're seeing it, feeling it, sensing it, and it's not the kind of visualization you've probably been taught to do, which is just all the buoyant victory, everything's great, victory, hey, everything's awesome, perfect. It's the visualization where you also imagine, see, and feel the struggle on purpose. Let me give you an example. Lots of people, when they're new to performance training and haven't had a lot of experience, they would say, oh, well, if you're gonna run a marathon, imagine yourself crossing that finish line. Your arms up in victory, everything is great. You cross that finish line, there's your family and they give you big hugs and you feel great, still vital, energized, ready to kick some butt. You could run another 20 miles. You're the strongest, most powerful you ever. And I'm like, ooh, wow, that's just a person who hasn't done a lot of training or actual high performance coaching in their life. Because the better thing to imagine is what happens at mile 13. To imagine yourself running strong, but also seeing and sensing and feeling yourself at mile 13 when that decision point comes to want to quit. That's where I want you to also enter the scene and visualize, seeing yourself struggle, like seeing the perspiration, seeing the heartache, seeing the hurt, the pain, that like, I can't run anymore, dude. Seeing yourself make a decision at that point to be resilient, to keep at it, to see the charge come back on your face. To see yourself working through the struggle is the most important visualization you can do. What would you say to yourself when it sucks? Not just see yourself validated. It's about, look, the real truth of achieving any dream is that struggle, that effort, that push. And I know you know this. So my question is, when is the last time you just gave yourself a few moments free away from, playing on the phone, free away from the internet, to just sit down by yourself to visualize and daydream about your dreams, about the activities involved in that, about how you would struggle through, about what it would feel like to be victorious. All of it, the whole thing, the messy part, the ugly part. What would you say to yourself when it gets hard? That's what you need to do. To truly actualize a dream, we gotta begin with seeing it and sensing it. The good, the bad, the easy, the difficult, and the victory.
Shaq's future is certain. A big shift in the balance of power in the NBA as the league's most dominant player is headed back east, the newest member of the Miami Heat.
Remember this? I'm gonna bring a championship to Miami, I promise.
After we split apart, were you trying to get more championships than me?
Oh, absolutely.
You were?
Absolutely. And I knew you were gonna get one. I knew you were gonna get one because of the energy, going into Miami and D-Wade and everything that was there. I knew you were gonna get that one. So I knew I had to get at least 2 or 3.
And the Miami Heat are champions of the basketball world!
I wanted you to get that because I needed that. I wanted that. Like, I wanted people to say, see, this is what they're missing here. This is what they gave up for, right? Kobe should have been the one to go. Now he's in Miami. I needed that. I wanted that. I wanted everybody to hate me. I wanted to fuel off of that and just come back with so much anger and so much vengeance. So I wanted that. So when you won, right after you won, I went out to the track and I ran. And I did my conditioning, I did my drills. I woke up the next morning, I hit my weights, I did my 1,000 shots, I did everything humanly possible to get myself ready. But I needed it. I was like, all right, yeah, good.
I needed it too.
All of the influences come out everywhere. I mean, you get influences from everything. You get inspiration from, I could literally look at this bag and be like, look at how the zipper is, and look at how the shapes go like this, and how the colors change, and how the belt buckles the way that the belt buckles, or the way that it clips, or the way that it tugs, and whatever. You can get any inspiration from anything. To write a song, to make a shirt, to come up with a video, it just comes out of everything you can look at. You can get creative and inspired by anything, really. So I think I'm definitely always doing that, I'd say, and letting it out in songwriting and singing, and the way that I perform, and the way that I, act and stuff like that.
What inspires me? More and more real life inspires me, but what inspired me to begin with is just, as so many of you are, just a huge film fan. And the films of, I would say, primarily Ridley Scott. Blade Runner was an enormous influence on me, and carry that into everything I make somehow. Stanley Kubrick, Terrence Malick, Nicholas Roeg, just the extraordinary work of the body of great directors, I think, primarily. And I know that almost anybody who's sat here today will have talked about seeing Star Wars for the first time, because for my generation that truly was a watershed moment, and something that fed my initial enthusiasm for making films, and it's stuck with me. But I think that as I get older, and as I've had the opportunity to make more films, which I feel very grateful for, more and more I find that real life and my life inspires me more, and I try and work that more into the material I'm working on.
I could find the inspiration from if I hear a really good house track, for instance, I can be like, oh, this would be cool, but you could do it like this instead, you know what I mean? So you get inspiration, but then again you get inspiration from all types of music, really. I mean, you can listen to an old Ray Charles track and get really inspired by just a certain rhythm or whatever, and then try to make something out of that and try to make it into your own thing and stuff.
Most of my rhythmic growth
Thank you.